The most baffling thing is, how did they do it? There's no simple answers. I don't give what anybody says. There's no simple answers. How did they have such incredible sophistication in their construction methods? How did they get those massive 80-plus ton stones 500 miles down from the mountains with no equipment, no heavy machinery? Yeah. Whatever they did, I think it's reasonable to say that in a different way, I don't think they had iPhones, I don't think they had email, but they were probably more sophisticated than us today in their ability to manipulate stone and make construction.
They certainly were. And I think they had mastery of techniques that we don't know about.
Right. And perhaps equipment.
And perhaps equipment. The Great Pyramid remains to me an abiding mystery, which, despite probably 100 or more visits to the Great Pyramid and being inside it and spending the night in it and exploring every passage and every chamber, including the so-called relieving chambers above the King's Chamber, I still can't figure it out. I don't understand how it was possible to do this.
All right, Parker, what is a woman?
A woman is an adult human person that has a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex. Now, define a man. Define a man.
You're looking at one, XY chromosomes in a
Okay, but does God the Father have XY chromosomes prior to incarnation?
We literally have a religious
He's a father and he's he/him, but he's not a man?
We have a religious
Wait, so a man is someone with XY chromosomes, but he doesn't have XY chromosomes, yet he's still a man and he still uses preferred pronouns?
It's actually very interesting. In the original Hebrew, Adonai, do you know what Adonai is? It's the Hebrew word for God. It's actually genderless, but in the scriptures, they use he, right? And they use the masculine. Jesus Christ came to earth as a man, not as a woman, not as genderqueer. But God the Father is so above gender, it is so above any of our understanding.
Then why use him?
Glory and understanding. Again, because you have to make a choice, either he or him or her in the original scriptures. Let's go back to. I'm happy
some
to
fathers
get into that,
aren't men and boys.
So
some fathers are not men and boys, not men or boys.
I'm sorry.
Some fathers are not male.
No, of course they are. I'm not.
Wait, so God the Father's a male?
Hold on, God the Father. So where do we get God the Father from? What Greek word?
From your scripture.
Well, from Abba, right, which is a very close personal term.
You're not answering my questions, and you're bringing up random language that doesn't matter.
Well, it actually does.
No, it doesn't.
But let me get down to the root of it, because
he's not a man. You know he's not a man under your worldview. Yet you still use his preferred pronouns. You still call him a man.
Christ is a man.
You don't do that with trans people because you're transphobic.
They've been trying to tell you all along, but you never listen. Buzz Aldrin, the famous astronaut who was on the moon, was trying to tell us that the moon landing was fake the whole time. Just watch this video.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest? It didn't happen. It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened.
I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memory.
Not a bad line. Not a bad line.
There is no such thing as gravitational pull. We lied to you.
Maybe this whole operation was never really about reaching the moon. What if the entire mission was just a carefully planned distraction to keep us from paying attention to what's actually happening here on Earth? And this is why...
Because you know how I figured it out? What's 1 times 1?
1 times 1 is 1.
To multiply means to do what? To make more, right?
Yes.
Increase in number?
Yes.
Multiply?
Yes.
How can 1 times 1 equaling 1 be part of the multiplication table? It fails to satisfy the term multiply. It doesn't multiply. Does it? What's an action times an action?
You got some weed.
No, I'm asking you. Honestly, I'm asking you. Reason.
What are we doing here?
Reason. I want you to reason.
I don't know.
What's an action times an action? A reaction. Right?
Okay.
Have you ever seen an action times an action without a reaction? Have you? No. Because equanimity is the currency of the universe. There's always an action times an action having a reaction. So how can 1 times 1 equal 1? How can A times B just be A? and not B? What happened to conservation?
Terrence,
of
these
energy?
are late night conversations.
These are
bro.
these
Yeah,
are.
they are.
This is the beginning of our understanding. It should fit. What kind of calculator you got? What kind of phone you got?
It's an iPhone?
Okay, go to your calculator.
Whatever the new one.
No, go to your
Okay.
calculator. Go to your calculator.
All right. Go to calculator.
Go to your calculator.
Yeah,
you
I got
do too. You got iPhone?
What are we doing?
I want both of y'all to do two separate things. I want to do the same thing to start with. Turn it to the side.
Okay.
All right, now I want you to both hit the number 2. Did the whole calculator show up?
Hit number what?
Hit the number 2.
Number
2.
2.
Go to the square root. It is the second column from the left, third row. It'll have that squiggly
Yeah.
thing.
All right.
You get
1.4.
1.414213562373095.
Holy
now
crap.
I want you two to do two separate things now. Two separate things. I want you to multiply it by 2, hit times 2, equal, don't you do it.
Okay.
And I want you to hit x to the third. X to the third, it's going to be... the
Times
third-
3?
No, x to the third.
Oh, X. Oh, okay. I see it.
X to the third.
Yeah, I got you. All right. 1.1.
No, you didn't hit x to the third.
Yes, I did.
If you hit x to the third.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right.
So
I
go
did
back
that.
again.
Okay,
You
so
keep
now
yours where you are.
Yeah, I'm
2,
good.
2
square root,
square root.
and hit x to the third.
All right. 2.82.
2.828, 4271, 2174, 6190. The same value you got
Yeah.
by multiplying it by 2.
Yeah.
And he just cubed it. Divide it by 2 again. Both of y'all. Divide
it by 2.
No, divide by 2, hit equal. Now, cube it again. Hit x to the third.
Yeah.
You see that loop?
Yeah.
That's saying x cubed is equal to 2x, which is equal to x plus x. That's an unnatural equation. That's a mathematical fallacy. And that's the beginning of your math. That's how I invented tangential flight, because your math, someone programmed that lie in there and lied to you and everyone, and all your fundamentals are off.
The real truth, you better wake up and find out, has been around you all of your life. You just didn't see it. Example, Abraham Lincoln was elected to Congress in 1846. John Kennedy was elected to Congress 1946. Abe Lincoln was elected president in 1860. John Kennedy was elected president 1960. The names Lincoln and Kennedy both contain 7 letters. Both presidents were particularly concerned with civil rights. Both of the president's wives lost children while living in the White House. Both presidents were shot on a Friday in the head. President Lincoln's secretary was named Miss Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Miss Lincoln. Both were assassinated by Southerners. Both were succeeded by Southerners. Andrew Johnson, who succeeded Lincoln, was born in 1808. Lyndon Johnson, who succeeded Kennedy, was born in 1908. John Wilkes Booth, who assassinated Lincoln, was born in 1839. Lee Harvey Oswald, who assassinated Kennedy, in 1939. Both assassins were known by 3 names: John Wilkes Booth, Lee Harvey Oswald. Both names are comprised of 15 letters. President Lincoln was shot in a theater named Ford. Kennedy was shot in a car named Lincoln, made by Ford. John Wilkes Booth ran to a theater and was caught in a warehouse. Oswald ran from a warehouse and was caught in a theater. Booth and Oswald were both assassinated before they could go to trial. And a week before Lincoln was shot, he was in Monroe, Maryland. A week before Kennedy was shot, he was with Marilyn Monroe.
The truth is hidden in plain sight, and this is how they hide everything. If you are looking for the knowledge that has been hidden from us, if you want to know the meaning behind these symbols, if you want to know who controls the world, this ebook will literally unveil that to you, and ye shall know the truth, and truth shall set you free.
There is a secret city at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh yes, a 100,000 square foot biodome sitting right on the ocean floor. And it's not just some underwater lab. No, they drained the water, created a breathable atmosphere, and built a whole livable space down there. It's massive. I'm talking 50,000 feet high, miles wide. But here's the thing. They didn't stop at the infrastructure. They colonized it. First, they built cities, transportation, commerce, the works. But the darkest part? They didn't fill it with people who knew what was going on. No, they took embryos, actual human embryos, and raised kids down there, Kids who grew up believing that Biodome was their whole universe. They've never seen the sky, never even heard of an ocean. Everything they know is a lie. Think about it. They're trapped in a fake reality, fed false beliefs about what exists beyond those walls. To them, outside the dome is just a cold, dark abyss. It's a deranged experiment, controlled by the ones pulling the strings. And get this, there's not just one dome. Oh no, there are dozens of these colonies. Each one, its own little fabricated world, completely cut off from the truth. And the scariest part? They don't even know they're prisoners. Imagine taking one of them out, bringing them up here. What would that even do to someone?
This is just a theory, not a fact.
So you're saying Antarctica wasn't always frozen?
There's a massive hole in Antarctica. You can see it on Google Earth and about 30 meters wide. But here's the weird part. Around that hole, there are bases, research stations. And each base, it's named after a different country. Every major nation has a presence there. They're all studying whatever's in that hole. But that's not even the craziest part. About, I'd say, 15 to 30 miles behind that hole, there's a gigantic pyramid. I'm talking massive, way bigger than the ones in Egypt. You can see its complete apex. It's been featured on the History Channel, Ancient Aliens. It's not a secret. It's just there. Now, how did a pyramid get in Antarctica? No sand, no tools, just ice. Well, Antarctica wasn't always frozen. That continent, it shifted. The Earth's crust slipped, moved the landmass all the way to the South Pole during a pole shift. Rapid, violent. And here's the scientific proof. As the ice melts thanks to global warming, they're finding animals buried in the ice, perfectly preserved. And when they dissect them, undigested food, still in their stomachs. You know what that means?
They froze instantly?
Exactly. Flash frozen. Something catastrophic happened. Fast. And nobody's talking about it.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
So it could be 1727 now?
It just could be. What if nearly 300 years of history never happened? Stay with me. In 1991, a German historian named Hermann Illig proposed something that shakes the very foundation of time itself, the phantom time hypothesis. His claim? The years 614 to 911 AD were completely fabricated. They don't exist. They were inserted into history, and we've been living in a false timeline ever since. Now, who would do this? And why? Enter Holy Roman Emperor Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII. Three powerful figures who supposedly conspired to alter historical records and manipulate the calendar. Why? Because Otto III wanted to rule in the symbolic year 1000 AD, a number that carries power, prophecy, and legitimacy. But instead of waiting, they fast-forwarded history itself. Now, think about this. We have written records from this missing period, sure. But where are the artifacts, the architecture, the undeniable physical proof? You'd expect 297 years to leave more behind, yet it's eerily scarce. And if this sounds impossible, just remember, Tartaria was erased from history. If they can erase entire civilizations, why not rewrite time itself?
This is just a theory, not a fact.
If humans evolved from apes, then why do apes still exist? If Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, who took the famous photo of him stepping onto it? NASA, one of the most advanced space agencies, somehow lost the original recordings of the moon landing. Lost them. One of humanity's greatest achievements, gone. How? And if walking on the moon was so easy in 1969, why haven't we gone back? Why did 56 countries, rivals, enemies, superpowers, all agree to one thing? That no one can freely explore Antarctica. What's there? What are they hiding? How did ancient civilizations without modern tools build structures so perfect they still can't be replicated today? Why do Egyptian artifacts show images that look like spacecraft? Why do dragons appear in every ancient culture, across every continent, and even in the Bible? Coincidence? And why is there a connection between the pineal gland, the so-called third eye, and the pine cone symbols found in ancient Egyptian art. Why is the entertainment industry obsessed with symbols linked to demons, secret societies, and occult rituals? And in a world so advanced, so intelligent, so scientific, why are we sicker, sadder, and more controlled than ever before? Ask yourself. Question everything. And if you think you know the answer, prove it.
You want to know what the saddest thing is? We live in a world where loyalty is just a word, and honesty is rare. People will shake your hand while secretly hoping you fail. They'll smile in your face and talk behind your back the moment you turn around. If I had to live my life over again, I wouldn't change much, except I'd trust a little less and observe a little more. My kindness has been mistaken for weakness too many times, but I've learned it's not my job to heal wounds I didn't cause. And it's not my responsibility to carry people who wouldn't do the same for me. I used to fear losing people, but now I fear wasting my time on the wrong ones. If I live my life trying to please everyone, I'll never become the person I was meant to be. So I laugh when I can, cry when I must, and never let anyone break my spirit. The older I get, the smaller my circle becomes. Not because I push people away, but because a strong mind doesn't tolerate dishonesty. I don't care who I lose, because as long as I don't lose myself, I'll be just fine.